spend us $120 million on a cricket stadium donated by the Chinese. It has so far fallen on deaf enemy ears. The Prime Minister has taken me to be a personal enemy. I am public enemy number one, because who am I to dare to question? I did not accuse the Honourable Prime Minister of any skullduggery. I did not accuse the Honourable Prime Minister when I stood up in this House of any corruption. But I asked the Honourable Prime Minister, Madam Speaker, for transparency, for accountability, for answers to the questions that people are asking. But no, don't dare touch the Prime Minister's anointing. David Shaw, the cabinet-appointed coordinator of the project, he called all the shots to the extent of exercising decision-making that properly belonged to the downgraded Deputy Prime Minister, properly belonged to the Minister of Public Works. And he sidetracked him. Madam Speaker, the fundamentals of good governance. You speak about good governance. You voted in on the tenets of good governance and transparency and accountability, because you said the previous administration was so corrupt. Parliment Spencer, the Honourable Prime Minister, the Honourable Member for St. John's Rural West, you have no moral authority to call any election in this country until you first call a commission of inquiry into the Cricket World Cup Stadium fiasco, to determine in the public interest what really transpired up there. It is the biggest government spending scandal ever in this country. And we must just brush it under the carpet. We must just sweep it away. And you have put private interests before public interests that you swore to adhere to, your fiduciary duty and responsibility to the people of this country. You have no moral authority to announce any election date, to move any back paper from your back pocket to your side pocket to your front pocket until you call for an inquiry. We want answers with that cricket stadium. And since he will not do it, the people will ensure that it's done when they vote for change in the New Year election. Madam Speaker, the pattern of corruption, wastage in this UPP government, it features as well the fancily decorated jelly bean sidewalks downtown, the poorly engineered drains, which are now responsible for severe flood damage every time a little extra rain passes, Madam Speaker. After Omar, not Omar, the rains after Omar, Madam Speaker. Go and ask the store owners. They have to be calling cleaning services, sweeping and pushing out water out to the stores. There is no proper planning. We have money, we have taxes, spend it. Spend it. No proper planning. We hear of big boasts of the hundreds of millions of dollars that were supposedly spent on roads. So where can we find the hundreds of millions of dollars? Is the Public Works Minister, my good friend, the member for St. Philip South, are you satisfied, sir, with the quality? Are you satisfied with the value? Are you satisfied that the people's money has been properly spent? You, Mr. Minister, also need to go and have an investigation into one of your persons in Public Works. Because all the roads in Emerald Cove were Barber Green. Millions of dollars spent. And I don't think the minister even knows. I don't think he's aware of it. And I don't think he knows if any money was paid into the Treasury and how much. Madam Speaker, how much millions of dollars? We are told and we see that they're fixing up and rehabilitating all the sporting facilities around the country. But Madam Speaker, it is not enough just to fence a sporting facility. You've got to have proper facilities, bathrooms, stage benches, stands, changing rooms. You have to just fence it. You know, the surfaces need to be barber green properly, marked out, the basketball courts. You can see no thinking, no forward planning. They have money, so spend it. And then we are told of all these brown paper bags that have been given to the minister responsible for sports, and that he's been sponsored thousands of t-shirts, Madam Speaker. That is not right.
Honourable Member, I call your attention to Standing Order number 36.5 and advise you to be careful about imputing improper motives to members of either House.
Very well, Madam Speaker. But, Madam Speaker, it is a fact. It's a known fact, though, on a different point, that there are known UPP businessmen, supporters of this government, that has given paraphernalia, election t-shirts, and a lot of things in reward for contracts. But we leave that, Madam Speaker. The Honourable Member for St. John's Rural South spoke so glowingly in his presentation, about all what they've done for sports, and how the member for St. John's City West and myself and Lester Bird went up to the airport, and how the member for St. John's City West attacked the Prime Minister, and all kind of mistruths and half-truths and lies. Madam Speaker, let the truth really be told. That we did go up to the airport, and Lester Bird, a former athlete and a former outstanding athlete, went to meet and greet Brandon Christian. And we were accompanied by James Grayman and also Ayata Joseph. And the minister did not even want Ayata Joseph and James Grayman and Lester Bird to go out on the tarmac to meet them. So the member for St. John's City West had to tell him, listen, man, this is a former athlete, the former Prime Minister, and these are two athletes who have represented this country. And he boasts what this government does for athletes. James Grayman is in Cuba right now with no assistance from this government. Not one single penny. Ayata Joseph is down at Gallibay. Has to be working in water sports because he can't get a single cent from the Ministry of Sports to go to Cuba. He can't get a scholarship. James Grayman did not perform well at the Olympic Games because the Cubans discontinued his coach. And he asked the Antigua government through the minister for funds to provide him with a coach. And that too fell on deaf ears. So don't come here and boast what you're doing so much for young people and for sports. They only care when the athletes get the medals and win the races. Then they go up to the airport and Pappy show themselves. But to try and prepare the athletes and lay the groundwork and get them scholarships and give them the necessary tools and financial assistance, they don't care. Ayata Joseph is in Antigua right now and has been for the last 2 years. James Grayman had to go and get a scholarship and go to Cuba with no help from the government. Both of them happen to be my constituents, so I speak firsthand. James Grayman represented this country at the highest level at the Olympics. He won a bronze medal in the Pan American Games in triple jump and many other events. And his mother happens to be Joan Messias and the UPP scrutineer. A non-UPP supporter. I don't know why they're victimizing the young guy. Why? But it shows not even their own they're prepared to take care of. And sports should have no political color. None. Madam Speaker, after giving away the Royal Antiguan for school meals money, the UPP now is buying Food City. They're buying Food City for 15 million broad dollar notes for less than 2 acres of land, of reclaimed land, of built-up land. And when the previous Antigua Labour Party government bought Michael's Mount, 13.5 acres of land, prime commercial land, with concrete, reinforced concrete buildings, with a hotel sitting on top of it for 13.5 million. The Prime Minister marched The Prime Minister